Good morning and welcome to the NumberSmart online presentation. Raise your hand if you've heard any of your students say, "Math is so hard," or "they hate math." Every year we would hear some of our students tell us that they don't like math or they don't feel successful learning math. As a math teacher, these comments are so heartbreaking to hear. We like to see and hear our pupils that they like math. We all know that math literacy is an important skill to have. We use math every day. If students don't see the value in learning math, how do we prepare them for math-related problems in real life, like applying for a loan, computing their taxes, or paying their credit card bills? So what can we do to help our students become more engaged and see math as relevant, fun, and interesting? Robert Gagne, an educational psychologist, created a 9-step process called the events of instruction. These 9 events of instruction are intended to provide teachers, trainers, and instructional designers with a set of guidelines to create efficient and effective learning experiences. Each event in Gagne's process is intended to further deepen the human learning process. As each step is completed, learners are meant to become interested, engaged, and invested in the learning topic. Conceptualizing the NumberSmart series, we applied Gagne's 9 events of instruction as guide to help teachers become more efficient and effective in their teaching, thus developing their learners to become NumberSmart. A balance has to be struck between delivering content, keeping students engaged, and helping them become successful learners. Today, you will hear from my co-authors how you can do that. Here are the 9 elements for effective teaching of math.
Event 1 corresponds to an element present in every lesson in our book. And Event 1 is gaining attention. That is, obtaining students' attention so that they will watch and listen while the instructor presents the learning content. Make your mark is a list of key, thought-provoking, simply worded, and objectives-aligned questions that the students will answer at the end of the lesson. The objective is to quickly grab the student attention and interest in the lesson. Let's start with example, the Make Your Mark questions for Lesson 1 in Chapter 3, Unit 1 of Grade 6 NumberSmart on the topic Ratio and Proportion. On the slide, you will see the questions, and they're about the definition of ratio, the symbols we use to represent a ratio, how to express a ratio as a fraction and doing it the other way around, and the situations in real life where ratio is used. These questions will surely serve the purposes of introducing the lesson and stimulating the student engagement.
After gaining your students' attention and Make Your Mark, we are now ready to go to the second event in Gagne's 9 events of instruction, informing your students of the learning objectives. In this sample lesson on ratio and proportion, the objectives of the lesson were stated to inform the learners of their target goals. This can be found in Aim for Now. The objectives in Aim for Now are the learning competencies that can be found in the K-12 curriculum guide. This assures the teacher and the learner that the lesson is designed to achieve the competencies set forth by the Department of Education. Informing the students of the objectives give them an idea of what they will be studying, and therefore they become responsible for their own learning as well. The objectives stated in Aim for Now set the direction and goals of the lesson. After doing the activities in the lesson, students are expected to have acquired the set objectives.
Take a look back, taps on students' prior knowledge. Gagne recommends stimulating recall of prior learning by asking questions about previous lessons and their understanding of previous concepts. Take a look back element will help you review or recall past lessons using drills and short activities. This element will encourage students to build on previous knowledge and skills. According to Gagne, you can help students make sense of new lessons by relating it to something they already know or something they have already experienced. In our target lesson, Number Smart series offers you different activities that will review lessons studied in the previous level. Repetition and practice help develop, strengthen numerical, logical, and analytical skills. Our example in grade 6 lesson, ratio, 2 concepts are recalled: finding the greatest common factor and getting the lowest term of the fractions. This prepares the students in their next lesson, ratio. By reviewing past lesson, you can reinforce students' learning and develop it as a concrete base for the next lesson. In the Number Smart series, we include the following in Take a Look Back element: key concepts, important words, formulae, and other such information that you want the students to remember. Homework and corrections, problems, areas faced by students in their prior lesson. For the students to make the review more appreciative, we use creative ways to help students remember what they learned. Examples: flashcards, pop quizzes, games that involves newly learned words or facts, calendar math, and more. Use of mnemonics to remember difficult sequences. When we take a look back element appropriately, the beginning of its lesson can make every learning more effective and more achievable.
The next step in ensuring a successful math class to make your students' math smart is presenting the stimulus. In the work text, we call it Have Fun As You Learn. In the sample lesson on ratio and proportion, the application of the concept is integrated with another subject through the information presented about ascorbic acid. The students learn fun facts about ascorbic acid and get to see how ratio and proportion can be applied in real life or in a topic under another subject. This interesting real-life application of the concept will keep the students motivated and see the relevance of what they are learning in math. Another type of activity that can be used under Have Fun As You Learn is mathematical investigation, or MI. MI is a sustained exploration of a mathematical situation that differs from problem solving because it is open-ended. While problem solving is a convergent activity aimed at arriving at a fixed answer, MI is a divergent activity where there are many ways to explore and analyze the mathematical situation. Students record their observations, find patterns and relationships, and make their own conjectures and generalization. Mathematical investigation develops mathematical thinking processes, reasoning, and communication in the learners. Students learn from one another's ideas and learn to communicate these ideas. There is not one way of solving and exploring the problem to find patterns and relationships. When done in groups, learners learn from the ideas of others and work together to refine their conclusions and generalizations. MI as an activity for online classes can be assigned as a group activity to foster values like critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and respect for other solutions and observations, or as an individual asynchronous activity. The following problems are examples of mathematical situations that can elicit an investigation or exploration.
The next event of instruction, according to Robert Gagne, is eliciting performance. One way to scaffold students who may progress at different rates is by providing practice activities that reinforce and evaluate understanding of the lesson. Let's allow them to apply knowledge and skills learned. We have to encourage students to apply what they are learning in group or individual projects and activities. The Solve on Your Own section of the Number Smart book provides guided exercises to help the learners acquire the essential concepts or skills. Routine tasks are contained in this part of the lesson until learners are able to develop confidence in tackling problems or situations utilizing the concepts. Drills and exercises are provided to master concepts learned. Take note that the items here seem like exercises on conversion of units. Well, you are correct. But it is also right that you can use simplifying ratios in converting one unit to another. I would like to emphasize that as teachers, we should allot time for learners to practice. The mix of repetition and recall is critical to any deep learning. In the next element, more practice, the learners are given more opportunity to apply what they've learned. The non-routine problems here can actually be performed in groups where they can discuss and share how they will solve the given situations. This way, learners are able to correct possible mistakes and improve their performance and confidence in working out similar or parallel activities. Next, the Reach Out to Master section provides various forms of exercises to illustrate application of mathematics to real-life situations. Mastery of a mathematical concept means learners can use their knowledge of the concept to solve unfamiliar problems, undertake complex reasoning, and even create and solve their own mathematical situations. These three sections of the Number Smart book, Solve on Your Own, More Practice, and Reach Out to Master, provide exercises that target different levels of difficulty.
Our next element is Ask Yourself. It is a question or a set of questions that helps students to reflect about the lesson. Gagne says we should allow students to reflect on what they have learned and think about how they will use what they learned in the future. In the grade 6 lesson on ratio, the reflection question is, how do you apply ratio in mathematical and real-world situations? Give time for the students to reflect on this. Then let them discuss their thoughts with a partner or with a small group.
The element transfer what you have learned corresponds to Dr. Gagne's 9th event, enhancing retention and transfer. There are two parts. Part 1 gives a quick review of the keywords and math ideas in the lesson. It also summarizes answers to the questions you saw in the first element, Make Your Mark. These are the key ideas in the lesson and the summary of the answers to the questions in element 1. Thus, you will see on the slide the following ideas, particularly that idea about ratio being a comparison between two non-zero quantities A and B, expressed in the same unit of measure, written either in word form as A is to B, or in column form A column B, or in fraction form A over B. Part 2 contains a checklist, a list of essential questions students have to reflect on in order to assess how well they have understood and mastered the skills and concepts in the current lesson and be more equipped and ready for the succeeding ones. In this part, possible difficulties encountered in the lesson will be addressed.
Hi! I will talk about performance task. A performance task is any learning activity or assessment that asks students to perform or to demonstrate their knowledge, understanding, and proficiency. Performance tasks yield a tangible product and or performance that serves as evidence of learning. Performance tasks are open-ended and typically do not yield a single correct answer. A performance task for students makes use of the acronym GRASPS, GRASPS, which stands for Goal, Role, Audience, Situation, Performance, and Standards. Performance tasks can integrate 2 or more subject areas, as well as the 21st century skills. For the chapter on ratio and proportion in grade 6, the goal, G, of the performance task is to show how ratio and proportion can be used in designing accessories like bracelets and necklaces, and in determining the cost of materials as well as computing for the profit. The R, roles. The roles of the students that they will perform are either they are designers or entrepreneurs. And of course, the audience will be the customers. This is the situation. The class is asked to make and sell accessories such as bracelets and necklaces using ratio and proportion. They will compute expenses and profits. For P, performance, the designers conceptualize the designs of the accessories and will buy colorful beads and strings. The entrepreneurs sell and compute the cost of the items and the profit. Using ratio and proportion for colors and kinds, they will design the bracelets and necklaces. The entrepreneurs should explain how ratio and proportion are used in computing for the costs and profits. The last S, standards. Standards will be completeness, accuracy, artistry, and the use of ratio and proportion. There is a rubric that guides the teacher assessing the performance task, and this task can be integrated with art and TVE subjects. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much.
There you have it, the 9 elements for effective teaching of math, adapted from Robert Gagne's 9 events of instruction. Let's recap what they are and see the matching element present in our Number Smart series. First event, gaining attention. Make Your Mark poses thought-provoking questions to learners and capture their interest in the lesson. Second event, informing learners of the objectives. The learning objectives are present in the element Aim for Now. Third event, stimulating recall of prior learning. Take a look back exercises recall past skills that will assist students in learning new math skills. Fourth event, presenting the learning content. The element Have Fun as You Learn introduces the content of the lesson. Fifth event, providing guidance for learning. Solve on Your Own provides initial activities where the learner can practice a new math skill learned. Sixth event, eliciting performance. More practice activities provide exercises to activate the learning process. Seventh event, providing feedback. The element Ask Yourself provides self-reflection questions to assess the learner's understanding of the lesson. Eighth event, assessing performance. Reach Out to Master is an element that helps assess the learner's mastery of the skill. Lastly, ninth event, enhancing retention and transfer. Our last element, Transfer What You Have Learned, provides a list of the concepts that were discussed in the lesson. A bonus element, performance tasks. These are learning activities or assessment that asks students to perform or demonstrate their knowledge, understanding, and proficiency of the skill that they have learned. Aside from chapter tests and unit tests, the NumberSmart work text includes authentic assessments through these performance tasks. We believe that you, our dear math teachers, have the power to inspire math literacy and critical thinking flourish among your students. We have to encourage the next generation to face the future with audacity and creativity. Let us nurture our learners to become math smart. Thank you and have an amazing day.